First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash, and double honors to the elder bishops and apostles at Great Millstone who taught me this truth. So today's lesson, I wanted to go into the state of our women, right? The state of the Israelite women, and going into how they have no accountability and how they're on a low condition, on a low estate, right? Just being wicked as all hell, and bringing out the scripture, right? The main scripture on why they're doing this, because ultimately this is a curse, right? With the woman rebelling against the man, that is a curse that the Lord has put upon us, upon the 12 tribes of Israel for breaking the law, statutes, and commandments in the past, right? And that's what sets us free in this truth, is knowing why we're in this condition, right? Because a lot of people in the world, they recognize that the woman is off, right? That she's very promiscuous, um, a very adulterous type of mindset, but they don't know why, right? Scriptures talk about how they have a zeal, but not according to knowledge, right? Like, for example, this whole red pill movement, these people know and they realize that, hey, this is not right. Like, a woman is not supposed to be out here with several men, right? It destroys them, and they end up depressed, not knowing what they want, lowering their value, right? Becoming masculine because they're confused and they've been given liberty, right? These men notice that this is happening in the West, majority, Salakia. This is primarily happening in the West, because if you look over there in the East, where they practice Islam and these religions where they keep the woman modest and she's in her part and doing all these things, they have a very more prosperous type of lifestyle and everything's more in order and in control, because that's the way it was supposed to be, right? The woman or the man under the Lord and the woman under the man, right? Everything has an order. But now when you come and you switch up that order, that's where confusion comes, and where all types of confusion, yeah, confusion comes. That's where the word confusion comes from, or Salakia. I'm all over the place, but Babylon, which is America, if you look into the word Babel, it means confusion, and that's what's happening right here. But let's get into the topic, because ultimately this is a curse that was mentioned here if we didn't follow the law, statutes, and commandments, right? Deuteronomy 28:15, the consequences of disobedience. It says, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord Yahweh thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee." Right? And then it goes down the entire rest of the chapter talking about the curses. But the main one that I wanted to bring out today is this one. It says, "The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not venture to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter." And that's what you see right now. All these women are under this feminist type of mindset, right? This feminist movement, that they don't need no man, that they can be independent, right? And meanwhile, they're over here getting ran through. And every single time that happens, they're getting more and more confused, right? Like, I was watching a video, and these women, they were asked their body count, or if they were first asked if their body count matters, and they said no, or they said no, it doesn't matter, right? A body count doesn't matter. And then the men asked all the women on the panel, "Well, what's your body count, if we don't mind asking?" And they said, "I'd prefer not to say it." They all said that, right? So they have no accountability when it comes to their actions. Like the song in the world, "Girls just want to have fun." Yeah, they want to have fun, but they don't want to get the repercussions for the fun. They don't want to deal with the consequences, right? No accountability, and that's one main trait that you will notice among the Israelite women and the majority of women here in the West that have been drunken with this philosophy. But if we keep reading, it says, "And toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children when she shall bear," right? A lot of these women, man, I've seen a video where they will literally drop off their baby at their man's house that they've divorced to go party, right? That's the state of these wicked women right now. They'd rather go out and party and spend time indulging in wickedness, because that's what they're doing when they're going out and partying. They're not doing righteous acts. Nah, they're doing wickedness. They'd rather go do wickedness than be at home as a mother taking care of the children, which is their main role. That's what they were meant to do, is to raise the family, right? And it says, "For she shall eat them for want of all things secretly in the siege and straitness, wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates." Right? And we're going to see that soon. Right? This has happened in the past already, which is cannibalism. Right? There's a story where this woman, she was with another woman, and they both had kids, and they were over here fighting about whose kid they were going to eat first. Right? And that's in the Bible. It's a story. But in these times we're coming into, hey, we're going to see that same thing again of cannibalism. And a lot of people, they can't believe that can happen, but when you don't give a person food, you will see when the real beast comes out. Okay? But yeah, these are the two main scriptures I wanted to bring out, and then I was going to go into a couple, but pretty much this is the curse that has been brought upon us, that the woman is not going to hearken unto the man, right? Going to be completely wicked. And another to accompany that, this is let's read this one first. Jeremiah 31:22, and it says, "How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter?" Which is referring to Israel. "For the Lord Yahweh hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man." And what that means is a woman is going to be over a man, right? And that's what you're seeing right now, right? They're trying, the whole part of this feminist movement, this type of society, the mindset is a woman can do whatever a man does. A woman can do whatever a man does and even more, right? That's what they're pretty much trying to say. And that's exactly what's happening. You look at the rights and all these advantages that women have, right? They've been put up on a pedestal, right? Because this is a society that worships women, just like in the past Roman and Greek empires. They both were women worshippers, and they put that on a pedestal, right? They promote that, right? Like if you see a man getting with several women, right? They will condemn that man and tell him he's a piece of shit, right? He's a shitty father. But you see a woman getting with a ton of guys, and they'll be like, "You go, queen," like independent, and it's completely backwards, right? They empower the woman and destroy the man, and ultimately this is to bring chaos, right? It's part of the new world order of the elites, right? They want a one world order, one religion, one currency, everything under one, right? And one of their agendas to get that power is to destroy the nuclear house. And how do you do that? You put the woman over the man. Okay? But this is Jeremiah 3:1, and it says, "They say, if a man put away his wife, and she go from him, and become another man's, shall he return unto her again?" Right? "Shall not that land be greatly polluted?" Right? And that's referring to the woman, her vagina, the land, right? And that's what's happening right now in this world. And this is not supposed to happen. It says, "But thou hast played the harlot with many lovers, yet return again to me, saith the Lord Yahweh." But the main point is, if a man puts away his wife and she go from him and become another man's wife, she's gonna be polluted, right? And that's something that's promoted in this society is, if you deal with the man, if a woman deals with the man and she sees that this is not her man, she sees something wrong in the relationship, she's quick to bounce, right? A statistic of divorce is that 80% of divorces are initiated by women, right? A majority of the time, it's the woman that's leaving because they look at the man as, what does he have for me to offer? What can I get out of him? And when they deal with him for a little bit and they get bored, they leave, right? Just just a ton of harlots, right? Prostitutes, pretty much, because that's what they are. If we're being honest, right? You take her out to eat, you do all these financial things for her, and what does she give you in return? Sex. And that's just the truth, right? But ultimately they've been put in this condition for a reason. We're under the curses, right? We have to keep that in mind. In another scripture dealing with the woman, this is Proverbs 30:20, and it says, "Such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eateth and wipeth her mouth, and saith, I have done no wickedness." Right? No accountability. Right? And this is straight from the scriptures. Right? Now we can understand why Yahweh Shai said that this is a very wicked and adulterous generation. Right? Because this is all these people think about nowadays is, man, how can I get with that man's wife? And the woman, the same thing. And they getting with another man's wife is seen as an accolade in the society. When ultimately it's the sin worthy of death, right? It's a criminal offense. But hey, this is why it's called Babylon the Great, right? A city likened unto Sodom and Egypt. And this is the reason why it has to get destroyed. Because, man, this is this is terrible. But let's read the scripture here. Ecclesiasticus chapter 26 and 8 I'll start at, and it says, "A drunken woman and a gatter abroad causeth great anger, and she will not cover her own shame." Right? That's why you have to keep the woman in order. That's why you don't give her liberty to walk and do whatever she wants. Because it's in them to do wickedness. It's in them to go off. Right? That's why she's supposed to be led by the man, because a woman is led by her emotions, but a man leads by logic, right? And this is just how men and women were created. We weren't created equal. And it shows, right? You got these women in these top CEO positions, and uh, research shows that they can't take it. After a couple of years being in that field, they leave because they can't deal with the stress. Though they all break down, right? They can't deal with the stresses of life and working those hard labor jobs, right? They're not built for it. They're built to be at home and to nurture and to create family, right? But hey, that's why you see everything's backwards here, and this whole society is in a constant state of depression because everything's been reversed. The roles have been switched, and now they are here promoting transformers and transmissions and homosexuality, which even worse makes the situation even worse, more confusion. Okay, the next verse says, "The whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids." Right? You can tell a woman by how she looks, right? The makeup, those cum, those big eyelids, the cum catchers, how they call them, right? Those are all signature looks of a whore, okay? And that's just the truth. It says, "If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty." Right? You have to think about, why is the scripture saying this? Because even back then they knew that if you gave a woman too much liberty, she was going to make a fool out of herself. Right? "If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly." And a lot of these women out here are shameless. They do not care. Right? It says keep her in straitly. Right? Don't let her be out here doing whatever she wants to do, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty. What do you think that means? Getting with all these different men, high body count, right? Abusing herself through overmuch liberty. Okay? And that's what's happening in these days as we're speaking. It says, "Watch over an impudent eye, and marvel not if she trespass against thee." Yeah, don't be surprised when they go off and they commit this wickedness, because it's in them. Okay? Right? It's in them right now. When the new covenant is established and we get those new bodies, hey, that's all going to be done away with. But for now, these women are wicked. Right? Solomon talked about how out of 1,000 men he found one with wisdom, righteous, right? And out of all the women he found none. Okay? And let's read 12. This is a strong scripture. It says, "She will open her mouth as a thirsty traveller, when he hath found a fountain, and drink of every water near her. By every hedge will she sit down and open her quiver against every arrow. Okay? What do you think that's talking about? It's talking about her getting with all these different type of men, right? She will sit down and open her quiver, which is her vagina, against every arrow, which is the rod. Okay? When you look at the word quiver, that's what it goes into, vagina and arrow, the rod. But this is talking about the high body count, being a promiscuous type of person, right? Adultery. This is what it's all talking about. But once again, this is all a curse. The tender and delicate woman among you, her eye shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter. Okay? This is ultimately all where it comes from. We're under the curses, and we have to keep that in mind. And don't be surprised, right? Don't even budge when these women cross you. They double cross you. They do you wrong, right? They commit adultery on you, right? You have to be in the right type of mindset and realize why this is happening, because if you don't know why this is happening, right? You don't know that these women are bound to be wicked, right? Every single last one of them, 99%, because that's the majority. 99% are going to be wicked, whether you like it or not, right? You think you have a good woman? Hey, just give it time. But you have to be in that mindset where, hey, she could do you wrong at any minute, okay? That's why scriptures talk about how if you have a woman, be like if you had none, right? If you have a woman, be like as if you had none, right? And hey, this is why. But just wanted to bring that out real quick and make a quick lesson. So with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahawashi, Bahashim, Rakak Wadash, and double honors to the elder bishops and apostles, a great millstone who taught me this truth. Shalom to you, like Shalom.